Hey everybody, getting ready to do another stream tonight. For those that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that are finding this for the first time, thanks for checking it out. Hope I'll stick you around. Hope you'll stick around. Hope to see you again. Um, I looked for webcams for animal rescues in my state. I'm not saying they don't exist. I can't find them. Uh, Found one for Texas, and when I went there, I don't know exactly what the deal is, but it kept putting up a message that it was unable to embed that camera. They needed to upgrade to a professional package. And I found some other ones I might do later, pandas and stuff like that. So we are back with the Warrior Canine Connection, and I do have a little more information. It sounds like at least some, if not all, of these animals are going to be future service animals, which I think is really cool. Like I said, until I get any complaints, I'm going to keep sharing these, give you something to watch while I'm reading the stories. And with that, let's get going on the stories here. Oh, I do want to say, give a little shout out. I have been doing stories from when I worked, things that I think led up to my health being ruined. And I will put a link to it in there, but I have a Facebook page that's being slightly repurposed for it. I have started a Reddit. If you have any fucked up work stories, feel free to share them there. And what I'll be doing is I will be looking to either do them like I do here, where I read them, or I will be using the software to turn them into videos. So feel free to go over there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, now would be a good time to smash that like button and smash that subscribe button so that you'll get notified when I have new ones out. I am doing this Friday night, Saturday morning, however you want to look at it. I haven't really felt good all week. At least 3 days this week, I woke up just freezing. And it was over 80 degrees in the room. So I've just been struggling, but I'm doing this so I can put it out Sunday. And with that, let's get started. The first one, I'm glad. The first one is actual. Oh wait, no, they're saying nonfiction. That means this one is true. Ooh, I got a work story I'll share if I don't forget after this. The title of this one, and it is posted by You Massive, and it's M4 SIVE or SLVE, and it's the newest one. It was posted 12 hours ago, and today is 8/21 of 2021, and it's morning, early morning. I haven't gone to sleep yet. It was my birthday a couple days ago. I was feeling like shit that day, so somebody told me, I'm like, it ain't my birthday. I didn't realize it was my birthday. At the time I was 14, the title of it is I Threw Actual Shit at a Girl Who Talked Shit About Me. At the time I was 14 and in a mental hospital. Well, that's making this thing make a little more sense now at this point. This girl I was best friends with for 2 days. Relationships formed very quickly, being locked up 24/7. Started talking shit about me. I felt so betrayed, and she was 10 times my size, so I couldn't really do much. So bright formed in my bright little young mind. It involved a lot of pushing as my intestines were acting up. I finally did it finally on a tissue, squatting in my room, a poo, a very dry one to be fair, like little rabbit dropping. So out of my room with the shit in hand and ran into her room screaming at the tip of my top. It says tip of my lungs. Talk shit, get shit, fake bitch, and threw it at her. That is my motto. Talk shit, get shit. Okay. I guess that's all you really need on that one. But being in the mental hospital makes it. When I was working at the auto company I worked at before my health went bad. And this isn't, I like to do these where I say that it's a story inspired by actual events. And the reason I say that is they tried to fire me over some made up shit. So the people that work there are willing to lie to get what they want. They made up some shit to try and get me fired. It didn't work, and I think that's what led to my health going bad. Because they couldn't get rid of me that way, so they decided to poison me is what I think really happened. But we had a private Facebook page, and the mental dysfunction that was abound in that place was just unfucking believable. By the time I had moved down to Indiana for that job, in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, we had been smoke-free legally nationwide for, I want to say, close to 10 years by the time I moved down there. Not quite, but close to 10 years. And the plant I came from, they had actually created smoking shacks throughout the plant. They were redoing like the foreman's office and the break area. So they took all these old foreman's offices, or most of them at least, and they turned them into smoking shacks throughout the plant, and they put a ventilation system in there. They didn't do that at this place. So if you wanted to smoke, you had to go outside. Well, there were some people who didn't work near an exit. This was a pretty fucking big plant. People who've never worked in a facility like that, they don't really have a clue at just how big that place is. And it was not designed like the Pentagon, where every part of it could be accessible from any other part within like 10 minutes or something like that. The Pentagon was actually really well designed. This place wasn't. So you had people that would go and smoke in the bathrooms, which was, well, you're breaking, I don't know if it's federal law or state law, but you're breaking the law because you're not supposed to be smoking in these places. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't run into it that much, but, I just generally wanted to go in and take a piss and leave, or go in and take a shit and leave. There were some people that were just bent out of shape on that, right? And somebody put on Facebook that the next time they smelled someone smoking in the bathroom, they were flinging shit. They were just gonna throw shit over the wall. And I just made the comment. I'm like, well, I really hope you hit. I'm not advising it. I don't think it's a good idea, but I hope you at least hit the person that's smoking. And then somebody made a comment. They go, yeah, I could imagine that somebody's in there trying to have a cigarette. And the next thing you know, somebody's throwing shit on them. They're just trying to figure out what's going on. And we had a management guy. I can't really mention names because he's a prominent figure in some of the stories. There's a character prominent in some of my stories that I'm doing that is inspired by this guy. But this guy, man, I'm not kidding you. I heard him going off a couple times when he was our shift leader about how he was going to go up there and find out somebody was smoking. And I just think he likes sniffing the ass in the toilet. I really do. But he was just taking it like, Jesus Christ. I mean, he was just really going all out on that. Okay, now this one here is story related. It is by user LeBearded Dev, LeBearDed Dev. And I usually do these blind unless the mic fucks up and I have to read them over again. Sometime on February, and the title is Luckiest Coincidence Ever. Sometime on February 2021, decided to buy a jigsaw puzzle of 1,500 pieces. Boxed, and all the pieces were inside a closed plastic bag. Not gonna lie, it took some time to finish it. I remember staying the last night till 5 a.m. in order to finish that up, and only to find there was a missing piece which I could not find. I looked everywhere around the house until I gave up and decided to put away the pieces in the box and leave it somewhere in my room. Fast forward to last week, I decided to buy another jigsaw puzzle, 1,000 pieces, since I didn't want to spend too much time on that. It finished up real fast, actually. It was easier this time. By the end of this 1,000-piece puzzle, I had an extra piece left, which I noticed before finishing the puzzle that it seemed to be a bit off considering the colors. So 1,000 puzzle finished and an extra piece just hanging there, so I had to take out the 1,500 piece and solve it again. I decided to leave the extra piece for the last piece. Hard to believe. What were the odds of that happening? 2 jigsaw puzzles purchased with a 6-month difference, both boxes sealed. The satisfaction of that last piece fitting in was too damn high. I don't know. I think if it's even true, I think he just found the other one. But it's okay, you know. Okay, this one again is nonfiction. It's by user vulgar _ epic. 21st birthday rager ended up worst birthday yet. My worst 21st birthday ever, as I was the host, and man was it shit. Caveats to note, I guess, was some heavy flirting with another brunette who came, so that's cool. We'll hit her up at an appropriate time, not 3 a.m. Also, many friends and friends of friends came and made it a night to remember in my crammed little apartment. Not in a good way, ultimately. Oh, shit, yeah, if this was recent, yeah, COVID spreader. I just feel guilty as birthday boy as it was my roommate's bathroom that was annihilated. And some nursing student in my apartment complex found the friend of a friend passed out and stumbling around lost. He was coherent and adamantly saying he's going to leave and take an Uber. It was bad and only alcohol, which surprised me. Worst birthday officially when we found my friend's friend by the ambulance lights. But besides the dumbass drinking the Tito's handle in literally 20 seconds straight during a party game, despite all of us saying stop, later regretfully puking, I feel awful for ambulance dude who was refusing assistance as the EMTs were saying get on the bed, and he proclaimed profusely, how am I going to afford this? Let me sleep it off, please. Very heartbreaking stuff, but at least he wasn't underage, so that's silver lining. American health system is fucked for non-insurance peeps. For anyone younger than 21, go clubbing and Uber out. Don't host shit. I'm sincerely advising you. I worked with a guy. This was not down in Indiana where my health was ruined working for an auto company. We worked with this guy. I was not 21 when I started at this job, and we ended up, he was actually a pretty good guy. I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's doing well. He was an Army vet. He was an artillery guy. And like I don't remember this kind of shit, mostly because I wasn't in the military, but he was, his artillery battalion, they're like, there's certain things that go with it. Like if you're in the Navy, they've got nicknames for some of the boats or the ships. Like the Abe Lincoln, I think his nickname shall not perish. There's another one, it might be the Roosevelt. I think that's called I might be wrong, but I think that might be called the Big Stick, because he always said, walk softly but carry a big stick. There is a unit, they're the weaponized C-130s. I think they're based out of Florida. And they're C-130s, and they have like an artillery cannon that shoots out the front. and they have the 60 or 50 caliber Gatling guns that can shoot out the sides. And this thing can spin on a dime. It can basically go into, it's got like an autopilot, and it can just basically be put into a circle, and it will obliterate with those Gatling guns it'll obliterate everything within a 50-foot circle or a 50-yard circle as it spins around. Their motto is "Don't run, you'll only die tired." I mean, there's a lot of this stuff. Well, his was first to fire or something like that. They were the apparently the tip of the spear for the artillery guys, and he was a good guy, and we took him out the one day. It was me, him, and our boss, and we were supposed to meet our boss, and he's a good guy. I hope he's doing good. He left. I think he left shortly after I did. Hopefully he found a better job. We were supposed to meet him at his place, and he wasn't there. So we went and stopped at a bar. We were going down to the strip club in the town next to us. And so we went to the bar, and I didn't know he was joking. I really didn't know the guy was joking. I didn't. And we get in there, and I go, "Hey, you're driving. What do you want? I'll buy." And he goes, "Get me a brandy old fashioned, a shot of bourbon, and a Budweiser to wash it down." This is actually a pretty good story, if I can remember the whole thing. This is an actual story, unfortunately. And so I told the bartender, I go, "Set him up," because he was driving. He didn't say nothing. He drank it all. He fucking blacked out on the way to the strip club. And it was only like a 15, 20-minute drive. And we got down to the strip club, and he started acting the fool. And like, he would go over there, he'd get some girl to dance for him, and then he'd act like he didn't have any money. And he was there in a Hawaiian shirt, and he was a little bit heavy, but he was a big dude. I mean, if he'd have been like cut, he'd have still been a big dude, but he had a little bit of a gut on him. And I noticed the bouncers were like moving in to fuck this guy up. So I took position behind the bouncers. And I'm not making this up. This is an actual story. And because I hadn't really seen that he had done anything horrible yet. And if they were going to tee off on him, I was going to drop one of those sons of bitches and then get him out the fucking fire exit. And I think our boss was completely oblivious to this, but I did. I moved in behind the bouncers. There were only two of them. One of them looked about as threatening as Pee Wee Herman. Well, somebody in there noticed what I was doing, and they went over and they go, "Can you just get him out of here?" And I go, "If it's a big deal, yeah." I go, we can leave. And so then they went over and said something to the bouncers, and then they noticed me. And I'm not even that big of a guy, but neither were they. And so me and my boss, we got him out of there, and we went over. We didn't realize it. I can't remember the name of the place. It's been so long ago, it's probably a different bar name, but it was like a biker hangout. And so we take him over there because we figure, well, he'll just calm down, and then we can go back, We go into this biker bar, and me and my boss were going to shoot some pool. And he goes over to the bar and orders a Budweiser. And I'm going to repeat exactly what he said. I'm not a fan of it. It is what it is. This was like probably 20 years ago. And somebody at the back of the bar said, "Budweiser is for pussies." It's like a biker bar. And there were a couple guys that were as big as this dude. And there were three of us. He's disabled. And there were like 20 or 30 of these guys in there, right? And he just starts wading through the bar going, "Who's the faggot with the big mouth?" And I'm just like, oh my God. I grabbed a pool cue and I'm thinking, okay, I can drop a couple of these guys before they get me in a rush. I did. That was one of the few moments in my life where I was actually pretty fucking terrified. And he goes wading through the bar. Well, the guy at the back of the bar who said it was drinking a Budweiser. So that calmed everything down. And then he went and passed out in the car. And he had given me his keys at this point. He had given me his keys. And so we left and we figured, well, he's going to sleep it off. We went back to the titty bar, you know. And then when we went to go get him, he was gone. He was gone. The car was gone. So I had to ride back with my boss. And then we found out the whole story when we got into work Sunday night because we worked third shift. Here, he woke up. He had no idea where he was. He didn't know where his keys were. And he went into the bar. And as soon as he got in there, the bartender was a female. She's like, "You get out of here, you fucking asshole, or we're calling the cops." I don't know what he did after we left. I really don't know what he did after we left. And he goes, whoa. He goes, "Can I just call for a ride?" And then they saw he was cool. I don't know what he did. He has no idea what he did. So he goes, "Can I just use," this was before cell phones were real popular. I'm not even sure they had cell phones. I think they were still rocking pagers at this point. And so he calls, he has to call his baby sister. She's probably like my age. She was like around 21-ish. He had to call her for a ride. Army vet, distinguished gentleman, close to 30 years old. He's got to call his little baby sister for a ride. He goes, I felt like, he's telling us this at work. He's like, I felt so fucking shitty. And he's like, "Hey, can you come get me? I'm on a bar and I'm not really good to drive." And then she's like, "Well, okay, where are you at?" And he looks at me and goes, "What town are we in?" And they're like, "Oh, we're in this town." And he tells her. And she goes, "Well, what bar are you at?" He goes, I don't know. He goes, "What's the name of this bar?" They tell him the name of I think it was Chuck's or Charlie's or something like that. I'm not sure. It started with a C, if I remember it. This was a while ago. And then he had to get her directions. And he said, he goes, "I just felt like such a piece of shit, you know." And so she picked him up. And then he was so happy that I had his keys because it had his unit emblem on it. And he wasn't sure how easy it would be to get another one now that he was out of the military. If you were in, you could just, I think, go to the PX or whatever and get it. But being out, I'm not sure he knew how easy it would be to get one. And, oh my God. And then we found out, and this would have been good information to have ahead of time. When he would go, him and some friends, when they would go to the Indianapolis 500, this was like a normal occurrence for him. He'd get drunk and he'd just fucking not remember anything. And apparently after they figured out what it was after 1 or 2 years ago, and him and some friends, they'd take like a camper down there and park it and just party. Well, they always made him wear a sign that said, "If I look lost, here's where my trailer is, or RV is." Because he would do this shit all the time. He'd get drunk. Well, he fucking woke up the one year in somebody else's RV. And he woke up on the couch and there was a guy just fucking glaring at him. And he's like, he didn't know where he was. He didn't know these guys. And he woke up and he's like, "Look, if I did anything wrong, I'm really sorry." I guess what he did was he just basically pulled the door open and went in. They found him sleeping on the couch when they woke up, and the one dude was just pissed. I think they saw the sign on him, so they understood. He thought it was his RV, and he went into theirs. And the other guy that was there, he goes, "Hey, you want some breakfast, man?" He's like, "Nah, I better get going. Your buddy really seems pissed." And he's like, "Yeah, he's kind of an asshole. Don't worry about him." But he goes, "No, I'll just go." He goes, "I got to figure out where my friends are." But I guess he did that kind of shit almost every year. Okay, next story. Okay, this one here, I might lose my shit while I'm reading it. Dad walked in on me my first time. Uh, we'll see how this goes. This one is by user Fast Primary 4969. It's Fast with a dash, Primary with a dash, and then 4969. And it's nonfiction. I'm 19, male, and when I was 14, I met this other boy at school. Okay, I might not be able to finish this one. I met this other boy at school, and we became fast friends freshman year, and we both decided to experiment with each other. We mostly did hand jobs and oral sometimes. Right when school let out for the summer, we decided to go for the full thing. We got Vaseline and lube, and he told his parents he was staying over at my house. And I knew my dad was working late that day, so I thought we'd have 2 hours to ourselves. Everything was going fine, even though it kind of hurt. But like right as he's finishing, my dad comes bursting in the door, thinking he was catching me watching porn. Oh my god! Apparently, he'd finished work early that day, and he was going to surprise me with going out for ice cream. We frantically decoupled and got dressed, and my dad was yelling at us doing that. Okay, I'm just not gonna comment on that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I read these blind. Okay, I'm gonna skim this one because I don't know if it's gonna be any good. Real life awakening. It's supposed to be a nonfiction story. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this one, and I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do the next one, and then I think I'll call it a day. Real life awakening, nonfiction, and this one is by user Kolyogy, Kolyog. Let me assure you that this story is 100% true. A few years ago, I had the most spirit-breaking summer of my life. I was 16 years old, immature, scrawny little boy. For the summer break, I decided to work at a brick factory to earn some money for myself and to see how money were earned. One day, the summer changed me and my whole outlook on life. I was having a great time there. My colleagues were very nice and funny. My boss is probably one of the most decent human beings I ever met. My job was to pack the stack of bricks and ready them for transportation. It is basically spinning around a stack of bricks with stretch foil in my hands. As you know, spinning causes dizziness. Everything was fine till my parents decided that they were going to separate. They had been at it for years, and I didn't know. It was so confusing for me. Suddenly, a huge ton of weight dropped on my shoulders. My parents told me what they had done to ruin their relationship, and it broke me down mentally. I always thought of them as role models, honest people. I'm an emotional person. I took this very seriously, thinking, what is it going to happen? What's it going to happen next? One day I went to work, broken obviously. The workload that way was against any human capabilities. I started off slow. The tricky part about my job is that it is outside of the factory, under the scorching sun. Everyone else working mostly inside. The 45 degrees Celsius was not making it easy for me. It got late. Everybody went home, even my boss. I still had 5 more stacks to pack. While packing, I felt like something was pulling me to the ground. My vision got blurry and I passed out. Nobody was there, just me, myself, and I. In my thoughts, something very trippy was happening. Everything I have been through just flashed before my eyes, and probably this happens before death. I'm thinking, am I going to die? Is that it? what have I done with myself? And then I woke up like I was possessed by a demon. I was screaming and grunting. I grabbed my stretch foil and I danced around the stacks like Muhammad Ali, light on my feet. I finished my job in under 5 minutes. I went home. To my surprise, my mom was leaving. My reaction was stone cold in my mom's eyes, but inside I was crying. I was not a boy anymore. I took my parents' situation not that deep. This is how it's written. My opinion was that the two people can't stand each other anymore. My mom left, and then my dad, due to work, left. I have never been home alone, and for 3 months I learned how to take care of myself, how to cook, how to sort things out, basically. Also got a driving license. Never looked back, never regretted what happened. I did all a son had to do to keep his parents together, and it just didn't work out. Now I'm a law student, working hard, not scared of life, training every day, physically and mentally, reading books for a person that never had an interest in books, and still in a good relationship with my family. This story might seem like I'm bragging about something. It was completely unintentional. I just feel like then and there a hidden part of me awakened. Anyways, thank you for going out of your way to read this story. Take care and stay safe. I didn't think that was a bad story. It wasn't what I was expecting. Okay, now this one here, story related. The story of a guy who gets his balls destroyed. This is not a not safe for work story. It's by user casual sci-fi, casual _ SI-FI. Okay. Yeah, this is not a not safe for work story. I was at recess at school, and me and a few other people were doing who knows what. Then we started telling stories about our lives. Then this guy Connor told me this story. Mario 64 painting noises. I don't know why you put that in. Once upon a time in 4th grade, we did like a show and tell thing, and this black girl was doing a cooking one. She gave the whole class oatmeal cookies. They looked like porridge held together by glue. They tasted like shit. So Connor was outside once and told the girl the cookies were shit and some other stuff. So this girl did the rational thing to throw Connor on the ground, raise her foot, and step on his balls about 15 times. Meanwhile, Connor's cousin came to say, do you say how he was doing? Well, Connor was still getting his balls crushed. Okay, meanwhile, Connor's cousin came to see how he was doing. Well, Connor was still getting his balls crushed during this event. Connor threw multiple N-words at the girl. That's wrong. And after this event, Connor went to the hospital, apparently lost 15% of his fertility, and came back to school in a wheelchair. Then the girl saw Connor in the wheelchair and decided to kick him in the balls one last time for full good measure. Jump 4 years later. After Connor told me the story, I was laughing, and a girl nearby asked what the N-word was, and me and Connor just looked at each other wondering how to explain it. I don't know. I find these stories funny. She did the rational thing and stomped on his balls 15 times. Okay, I'm gonna just basically call that a day. I will check it. I'll have to reread it if the mic didn't work. Hope you enjoyed the puppies. Again, that is the Warrior Canine Connection. If you want to reach out and show some support, I'm sure they would appreciate it. I'd like to thank everybody again for checking this out. And again, if you haven't already done it, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified of the future postings we do. And check in the description if you want to look into the Reddit thing I just started for inappropriate motors. Feel free if you've got some messed up work stories. I don't care if there's a union involved or not. Just leave them there to share them, get the word out, maybe feel a little better, and then I will be looking for them for stories like this that I can post. Peace out, and I hope everybody has a great day.